Twilight and Chrysalis snored softly on a brown bed with a dark blue blanket with designs of stars and moons, both with smiles on their faces. Twilight soon woke up and stressed a little while she yawned. She looked to the right and saw the queen of the changelings sleeping with her hooves wrapped around her in a hug. Twilight couldn't help but smile at being hugged by Chrysalis. A blush soon appeared on her cheeks with this. She looked at the balcony and saw the sun had already risen over the horizon. She wanted to get out of bed to see what Spike prepared for breakfast, but she also wanted to continue in this warm embrace that was involved. She even thought about waking up Chrysalis, but she didn't want to disturb her marefriend's sleep just because she wanted to get up. With a sigh, she decided to wait for the queen of the changelings to wake up. To distract herself, she decided to relax again in the embrace that was involved. After 10 minutes, Twilight opened her eyes when she heard a yawning sound. She looked up, and she saw her marefriend's green open eyes.
Good morning, Twilight. Did you sleep well?
Asked Chrysalis with a smile.
Yes, Chrissy. Mainly because you were hugging me in your sleep,
Twilight replied. Suddenly, the ears of the two cheered up when they heard Chrysalis' stomach growling. Both exchanged looks.
Well, it looks like my queen woke up hungry,
Twilight said with a smile. Chrysalis agreed.
Yes, but at least I won't need to suck your love as I did with your brothers in his massive cadence.
Twilight looked to the side, remembering when Chrysalis disguised herself as her ex-foal-sitter to take over Equestria.
Yes, I remember that day.
I remember too,
said Chrysalis. Their thoughts about the wedding were interrupted by the snoring of Chrysalis' belly, only this time it seemed louder. Twilight obviously noticed that.
I think we better get you fed soon,
said the purple unicorn.
I agree, Twilight,
said Chrysalis.
So, would you like to eat in bed, or would you prefer somewhere else?
Chrysalis thought for a few seconds before replying.
I think the bed will be better.
Okay. What would you like for your breakfast? Do you want compliments?
Asked Twilight, wanting the breakfast in Chrysalis' bed to be perfect.
I don't care what you give me, my love,
Chrysalis replied, lovingly stroking the soft mane of Twilight.
As long as it is done with a lot of love, I will already be feeling satisfied.
Well, if you say so, then,
said Twilight, now thinking about what she could do for breakfast for her changeling, since Chrysalis didn't care what she would have for breakfast. Until she had an idea of what she could give her marefriend for breakfast. She looked at Chrysalis and said,
I already know what I'm going to give you for breakfast, Chrissy.
That's good. And what are you going to give me?
Asked Chrysalis, now nervous. Twilight smiled and said,
You will be eating Cuddles for breakfast.
She then enveloped the Queen of the Changelings in a loving embrace. Chrysalis was surprised by the sudden embrace, but the surprise was soon replaced by good humor. She closed her eyes and relaxed in the embrace that her marefriend was giving her. She could feel that Twilight was putting a lot of love into that hug, and that would make her full and satisfied, knowing that Twilight was working hard to make sure she had a good meal. But she was not yet full and satisfied, since she just started to feed. Twilight blew out a breath and opened her eyes to see if Chrysalis was enjoying the hug. From that smile, she could already guess that Chrysalis was enjoying it. So, to make Chrysalis' breakfast in bed more complete, she was going to add more things besides hugs, and she knew very well what she would give. Then the purple unicorn began to lovingly caress Chrysalis' cheek with a hoof. Chrysalis obviously felt Twilight's hoof on her and couldn't help but love. She was already being hugged, but being caressed while being hugged? This was like a complete meal for her.
Please continue with this, Twilight,
said Chrysalis in a tone of satisfaction. Twilight smiled at what she heard. It seemed that what she was doing was pleasing Chrysalis. She then continued to caress her marefriend's cheek. Chrysalis couldn't help but love this. She never imagined, since her years as queen of the changelings, she would fall in love with the same mare that defeated her. Deep down, she was happy that it happened, because after all, it was with Twilight that she now fed on love in another way. If it weren't for Twilight, she would still be sucking the love of other ponies. Chrysalis let out a slight breath because she was having one of the best breakfasts in bed. She opened her eyes and saw Twilight smile as she stroked her. Deciding that Twilight deserved that too, she started to stroke Twilight's cheek back. Twilight was a little surprised by this, as she didn't imagine that Chrysalis would decide to return the affection, because it was she who was giving love to Chrysalis. But even so, she continued to give breakfast to her marefriend.
So, Chrissy, are you liking your breakfast?
Asked Twilight.
I'm loving it. I've never received so much love from a pony like yours.
Chrysalis replied.
Are you satisfied already? Or would you like me to continue?
Go on, please.
Chrysalis asked, now stopping to stroke Twilight to relax again in the embrace. Twilight then continued with the affection. After 2 minutes, Twilight stopped caressing and decided to relax in the embrace that they both were involved in. A slight breath came out of her, but she did not sleep. A silence filled the room, but it was not awkward. It was good, in fact, since both of them felt relaxed in the embrace they were involved in. Twilight felt relaxed in the embrace while Chrysalis felt almost full. She just needed a little more love. Twilight then decided to take advantage of this moment of silence to talk to Chrysalis.
So, Chrissy, how have things been going on in the kingdom of the changelings?
She asked, now stroking the mane with holes of her changeling queen.
Some of the changelings are still injured because of the fall they took from Cantala to my kingdom due to the explosion of love from Cadix's shining armor,
Chrysalis replied. Twilight's ears drooped on that.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, Chrissy.
Twilight stopped petting Chrysalis, now sorry for making Chrysalis remember that. A smile appeared on Chrysalis's face, and she began to caress the mane of the purple unicorn.
Don't blame yourself on that, my love. It's not all of my subjects. Most of them have already improved. Only a few are still injured,
Chrysalis assured Twilight. Those words were enough for Twilight's sadness to change to happiness.
Oh, good.
Twilight returned to caressing the mane of her marefriend.
How about you?
Asked Chrysalis.
I was informed by Applejack and Rainbow that they will participate in the leaf race this year,
Twilight replied.
And this time, they will not compete to see who will win the race, but will enjoy the race as friends.
A question came to Chrysalis's mind.
Have you ever participated in this race?
Yes, and I came in 5th place.
Twilight then stopped stroking Chrysalis and went back to relaxing in the embrace. Chrysalis did the same. After 5 minutes, Chrysalis could feel that she was full. She blew out a satisfied breath. Opening her eyes, she nudged Twilight lightly with a hoof.
Twilight, sweetie, open your eyes,
said Chrysalis. Twilight opened her eyes and looked at Chrysalis with a curious look.
What happened, Chrissy?
She asked.
I'm already full. You can stop the cuddles,
Chrysalis replied.
Oh, of course.
Twilight then released Chrysalis from the embrace. Chrysalis did the same.
So, Chrissy, what did you think of your breakfast?
I loved it. It was a complete meal for me,
Chrysalis replied. Twilight smiled sweetly at the answer. Their moment was interrupted by a snore, and this time it was Twilight's stomach. Twilight laughed about it. It seemed now that she was the one who was hungry.
Allow me to make breakfast for you.
Chrysalis offered. She then got up with Twilight and made the bed and left the room with the intention of going to make pancakes for her marefriend, and would make sure they were made with a lot of love. Support me on Patreon. Subscribe and make sure to ring that notification bell to know when I post new content. And please, feel free to join the Lotus Garden. Links in the description. Thanks for listening, and look forward to more. Good night, every pony.